Good day, one and all. Look at the beautiful sunrise that is sun rising. How you doing? You well? It is the 18th day of the fourth month of the 25th year, they say, right? And it is a beautiful Friday morning. You watch the sun coming up, right? This morning I will be discussing domestic violence against men and the symptoms to look forward to and how to assist. This is just a small little overview of what it is. So I'm going to proceed. I just want you guys to enjoy that view, right? Look at that sunrise. Right? Ah, sunrise is everything. All right. So starting over again. Hi, my name is R.A. Greetings and salutations. Good afternoon, good afternoon, depending on who hearing this at the sound of my voice. We're using a domestic violence against men overview while we are here. So for those who are like, what time is it where you are? It is now 6:07 a.m. in Jamaica. So the sun is rising beautiful and we are in the east. So that's why it's rising beautifully in the east. Today's structure, I am R.A. Blake. I am a criminologist, criminal psychologist, social scientist, researcher, and a profiler. I am also the CEO, initiative owner of Domestic Violence Against Men Symposium. That's happening on the 19th and the 20th of November, 2025. The 19th is International Men's Day, and the 19th will be held in Kingston, Jamaica. And the 20th is a Wednesday, and that's held in St. Thomas, Jamaica. So today's topic, we're going to do a quick overview is domestic violence against men, the symptoms, statistics, and impact on family and children. For those who are like family and children, preceding this one, I did a domestic violence and behavioral problems in children. So if you go on to YouTube, for those who are on the Instagram and listening to this, if you go on the YouTube, you'll be able to see before this one the children impacted by domestic violence. Now, domestic violence and abuse is often perceived as a problem affecting only females, but men can also be victims. Domestic violence against men is a significant yet often overlooked issue. While societal perceptions frequently focus on women as victims, men can also experience various forms of abuse. This paper explored the symptoms of domestic violence against men and domestic abuse against men, which provides relevant statistics and discusses the impact on the family and home and children's behavior. Children's behavior was mentioned earlier. I will go over it a little bit here. All right. So, symptoms of domestic violence against men. This paper explores the symptoms of domestic violence against men, provides a relevant statistics to the view, relevant statistics, and discuss the impact on the family, home, and children's behavior. This paper explores the symptoms of domestic violence against men, provides relevant statistics, and discusses the impact on the family, home, and children's behavior. Domestic violence against men can manifest in various forms, or domestic abuse against men can manifest in various forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, psychological abuse. You're like, wait, what? Yes. Physical abuse, which includes hitting, kicking, biting, punching, or using weapons. And women like slapping, that whole slapping thing. Or for those who like throwing acid or throwing water or throwing oil, that is physical abuse. Emotional abuse, which is the insults, the belittling, the humiliating, and the controlling behaviors. You have the sexual abuse. Persons are like, wait, man can be sexually abused. Second and far in between that, men can be raped. But yes, men can be sexually abused for sexual acts or acts of coercion or sexual coercion. For example, the gentleman come in, he's tired. He just wants to go to sleep. But you want to have intercourse. And instead of expecting a man is tired, you just came from a long day, the same way you always say your head is hurting you and you're tired. Why can't the man's head hurt him and he's tired too? But you turn around and be like, oh no, you just left Sarah's. Oh no, you just left Karen's. Oh no, you left just Anita's. Oh no, you just left Sanjita's. Oh no, you just left Luhan's. Oh no, you just left Nakaya. Oh no, you just left Namusa. You notice I gave all countries and variation and ethnicity as I possibly can, yes. But if the gentleman does the same to you, oh my God, he's forcing me to rape and he's forcing me to sexual act. It's the same thing. Same thing, my darling. And then there's the psychological abuse, which is the threats, the intimidation, and the controlling behavior. Oh, I will let my brothers beat you. I'm gonna let my cousins beat you. You don't know who I am. My daddy will take care of you. And then and intimidating him, not doing it based on the fact that he's abusing you, but based on the fact that you want to control and dictate. Now, domestic violence against men or domestic abuse against men is more common than often acknowledged, and key statistics include prevalence. Approximately 1 in 3 victims of domestic violence are males. I know, right? That number. Reporting. Many men do not report abuse due to embarrassment, fear, or not being believed, or fear of, you know, retaliation. They don't believe. Oh, your woman is hitting you. How your woman is hitting you? Oh, you're not man enough. Oh, my woman can be man. Telling him he's not emasculating, but make him in the Jamaican term, clot her down, or in the American term, knock her ass out, or in the British term, shag her up or shank her up, yeah? You hear that he is wicked. Eh? You hear my man they wicked if he do the same thing to her that you do to him. Ladies, stop it too. I stop it. Now, only 4.8% of victims of domestic abuse receives support from local domestic services. And yes, they're used to police laughing at them and society laughing at them. It's the norm. Domestic violence and abuse can create a hostile and unstable environment in the family home. The prevalence of violence can lead to one of these three things: fear and anxiety. Family members may live in constant fear of the abuser, plus the economic strain. Financial abuse can lead to economic instability, social isolation. Victims may be isolated from friends and family, affecting social support groups. When you tell a man that he can't go see his friend, or if he's chilling with his homeboys, it's a problem. Or if he has a female friend, oh my God, he's cheating on you. Or he can't go see his family, go see his mama. And how dare you he take care of his child that he doesn't have with you, but he has with another lady before you. These things create socialization, fear and anxiety, and can cause economic strain. Children exposed to domestic violence and abuse can experience significant behavioral and emotional problems, which includes emotional distress, increased anxiety, depression, and post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Behavioral issues increase aggression, withdrawal, and difficulty in school, which can lead to truancy, bullying, hyperactivity, and juvenile delinquency. Long-term effects: increased risk of perpetrating and experiencing violence in their own relationship, because that's the norm for them now. To see that, it becomes the norm for them to do. Kwako see kwako do. Exactly. Remember, children are from the school because you were once a child. So remember this. The statement is do as I say, not as I do. But we know full well, as being former children, we do what they do, not necessarily what they say. So now, when your child or children or your guardians, that's your guardians, it could be a niece, a nephew, a godparent, a cousin, that you are responsible for, seeing these instances, it's difficult. Now, for a young man, say you have a son and you're abusing his father, you're telling this young little boy, teenager, young baby, depending on his age, that it's okay for a woman to hit a man and for him not to hit her back, and self-defense does not exist. That it's okay that if he goes to school and a young lady is hitting him, that means she love him and she like him. You see how that logic makes no sense? Illogical fallacies? Yes. And that's going to lead me into my quick overview of what was done in my previous video. But for those who ain't catching it, I'm going to do that quick overview here. This one is about domestic violence and behavior problems in children and teenagers in school. Okay. Domestic violence is a pervasive issue that affects millions of families worldwide. It impacts extends far beyond the immediate family and immediate victims, profoundly influencing children and teenagers who are exposed to such environments. The repercussion of domestic abuse and violence manifest in various aspects of young individuals' life, including their behavior and performance in school. This paper, this information I'm giving you, explores the relationship between domestic abuse and violence and behavioral problems in children and teenagers in educational settings, and highlighting the need for comprehensive interventions for this. Now, the emotional psychological effect that it exposes children to can be one of two things: anxiety and depression. You know how I mentioned earlier how the spouse can have anxiety, depression. This thing passed on right on to the teenagers and the children. Children may experience heightened levels of anxiety, fear, and depression as a result of witnessing violence between parents or caregivers. PTSD. Recurrent exposure to domestic violence and abuse can lead to symptoms of PTSD, including flashback, nightmares, and severe anxiety. Now, behavior problems in school that this may cause exhibit and may hinder not only their academic and their social development. Pardon, pardon me. Devil is a liar. Aggression and bullying. Witnessing violence at home can normalize aggressive behaviors, leading children to mimic such actions in schools. They may bully peers or exhibit hostility towards teachers and classmates because it's not the norm, right? It's what they see. Withdrawal and isolation. Conversely, some children may withdraw from social interactions and become isolated, find it difficult for them to form relationships and trust others. Therefore, their social development is hindered because they trust and believe no one, which then leads to disruptive behavior. Disruptive behavior leads to all the others. Exposure to domestic abuse and violence can lead to attention difficulties, hyperactivity, and other disruptive behaviors that affect classroom and dynamic learning outcomes. There are chronological perspective, sociological considerations, and psychological interventions that needs to be taking place, such as counseling and therapy, school-based programs, parental support and education. Domestic violence and abuse has a profound and far-reaching effects on children and teenagers, manifesting in significant behavioral problems within educational settings. Addressing these issues require a multifaceted approach that includes emotional support, education interventions, and community involvement. By understanding and addressing the root cause of behavioral problems linked to domestic violence, educators and policymakers can create a supportive environment that foster the healthy development and well-being of all students. So that is the end of my domestic violence against men overview sim overview. I do have to remind you guys that November 19th and November 20th is the domestic violence and domestic abuse against men symposium that is taking place in Kingston, Jamaica on the 19th and the 20th in St. Thomas, Jamaica for International Men's Day, Tuesday and Wednesday. You can contact us at www.bnvirgo.com, bnvirgo.com, Instagram at cass.society. So that's CAS Period Society, cass.society. Domestic abuse against men on the Instagram as well. My Instagram is Black Social Scientist because I am a Black social scientist. I am R.A. Blake, BABAMACJ. I am a criminologist, criminal psychologist, criminal profiler, advocate and CEO of the Domestic Abuse Against Men Symposium Initiative. I am also a researcher for parenting and children and gang profiling. You can contact me on 876-227-3462, or 856-0815-856-0815. For those internationally, or the Jamaica code is not picking up because someone said to me the other day in Malaysia, the Jamaica is not picking up. The UK is 07438984679. 04389 bnvirgo at gmail.com, bnvirgo at gmail.com, or Williams Publishing House at gmail.com. Thank you ever so much again for listening to the sound of my voice. It is the 18th day of the fourth month in the year 2025, so they say. The sun is rising in the east. And for those who are hearing my voice, give God thanks and praise that you have lived to see another day. So, domestic violence against men does exist. Domestic abuse against men does exist. Women have and will always be a victim, and they always get the attention. But men has been underreported, underprivileged, understated, and dismissed so many times. So I need all the persons. Mental health against men, the repercussions that they do, the PTSD, the anxiety, there's a lot of issues. So I need you guys to look out for certain symptoms to help you identify. There will be another follow up to help you identify more symptoms of what domestic violence and domestic abuse against men are. But remember, the four that you need to look for is physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse. It creates social isolation, economic strain, and fear anxiety. Again, thank you ever so much for listening to the sound of my voice. You guys have an amazing day. Bye. Thank you guys for listening.